Well, welcome aboard. Looks like we got a lot of people enjoying their Labor Day off out and about. We are on chapter 34 of Sri Sarada Devi and her divine play. And the chapter's name is Farewell to Jairambati. If you remember, Jairambati is Holy Mother's hometown. Of course, all of you are seasoned veterans, but yes, so Jairambati was her hometown. We've got a couple of pictures. This is kind of a panoramic picture of Punyapukor and Jairambati. Mother used to bathe there at one point. And the village still looks it's still very much a village. They're still living in the huts and with the beautiful those beautiful cut reed roofing. It's gorgeous. Very, very nice. All right, so chapter 34, it starts off with our quote here: Bestow your grace on your children, O great goddess, and on those who salute you by giving them refuge at your feet, O compassionate one. Salutations to you. Saint Ambrose, there's an interesting quote to start with. Saint Ambrose said, If you are in Rome, live in the Roman way. If you are elsewhere, live as they do there. The ability to adjust to circumstances is essential. Wow, essential, he says, to living a happy and peaceful life. Holy Mother repeatedly told her disciples to adjust according to time, place, and person. Mother was actually really great at that adjustment. You know, she just really never was troubled by anything. She was just like, oh, well, okay, we do it this way now. Or oh, well, we better try that way. And my favorite story of that is when the rice dropped, that she was carrying it to, offer it to Takor, and it dropped, and the pot broke, and it got all over the ground. And she just turned to Takor on the shrine, and she said, "Well, if that's the way you wanted it to happen, that's the way you're going to get it served." So she just scoops all the rice off the top that's not laying on the ground and puts it in another pot and goes ahead and offers it to the master. And at that point, I knew I was with the right people because that's exactly what I would do. All right. So Holy Mother played her divine drama mainly from two stages, Jairambati and Calcutta. In Jairambati, she lived among poor and unsophisticated villagers, while in Calcutta, she was surrounded by the wealthy and the sophisticated people of the city. However, nothing affected her because her mind dwelled above the pairs of opposites, such as happiness and misery, luxury and poverty. She truly loved her village of Jairambati because she enjoyed more freedom there than she enjoyed in Calcutta. In the first 33 chapters of this book, wow, we have presented to the reader the immortal saga of Holy Mother from 1853 to 1918. From the 27th of January 1919 till the 27th of February 1920, Holy Mother lived in Kualpara and Jairambati, where her life story had begun 66 years previously. Although part of this last period of the Mother's life has been mentioned in chapter 19, we shall recapitulate some incidents here for the continuation of the story. Holy Mother's niece, Radhu, was pregnant and suffering from neuroses. She could not bear the noise in Calcutta, so the mother decided to move to Jairambati with her. Early in the morning of the 27th of January 1919, Holy Mother left Udbodhan by a horse carriage. With Radhu and Radhu's mother, Shurabala, as well as Maku and her son Neda, Nalini and Mandakini Roy, a widowed disciple and an attendant of the Holy Mother, Brahmachari Ganan, Dvijan, later Swami Gangeshananda, and Brahmachari Bharada. Holy Mother and her female companions traveled by train in a reserved second-class compartment, and the men went by interclass. They spent 2 nights at Sureshwar Sen's house in Vishnupur. On the 29th, they left for Jairambati, taking 6 bullock carts. It was decided that after resting in Kolpara for a couple of days, the party would continue to Jairambati. However, Radhu had slept well for 2 nights in that quiet village and wanted to remain. Holy Mother consulted with her brother Kali Kumar and others, and they suggested that it would be good for Radhu to stay in Kolpara rather than to continue on to Jairambati. Accordingly, Radu and Holy Mother lived at Jagadamba Ashrama in Kualpara for 6 months, from the 29th of January until the 22nd of July. And all of those things are still there and available for you to go and visit and do some meditation in this little mother's little cottage that she lived in Kualpara, and the where she bathed, and it's a absolutely beautiful, rustic, very remote center that has a delightful ashram, a delightful place to sit and meditate there. He used to have a wonderful Swami. I can't remember his name. He actually ended up going and sitting on the Narmada and living in a little kutir out there. I found all that out through, I can't remember his name, Ray Berry, who used to live at the Olima retreat and was friends with that Swami. And so during this period, Holy Mother was passing through a hard time. Nalini and Maku were jealous of Radu and left for Jairambati, where Maku's son Neda died from diphtheria on the 20th of April. Holy Mother discouraged devotees from visiting her in Kolpara, as Radu's mental illness and pregnancy worried her. She wrote to Sharadananda and asked him to send Sarada, later Bharati Prana, who was an experienced nurse in the female ward of the Ramakrishna Mission Home of Service in Varanasi, to Kolpara as soon as possible. Sharadananda immediately wrote to Swami Kalikananda, asking him to release Sharala and to send her to Calcutta. The next day, before leaving Varanasi, Sharala went to Turiyananda and told him that she was going to Holy Mother to care for Ratu. Turiyananda said to her, "You're going to the Mother? Very well. The great Divine Mother is engaged in doing good to humanity. We are trying our utmost to raise our minds to this chakra," pointing to his throat. "And she has brought her mind down forcibly to that center, saying, 'Ratu, Ratu, try to understand this great mystery. Victory to the Mother, the great primordial power.'" So what he was saying there is that, these incarnations, they are always aware from their birth as to what and who they are. They know their nature. Now, in order for them to maintain a body, in order for any of us to have a body, there has to be a certain amount of impurity, a certain level of me and mine in the mind in order to hold us into this body. And for us, we're always trying to get our consciousness to rise up, because our consciousness very narrow, very, very easily goes down and rests in the lower areas. But the incarnations have the exact opposite problem. We see Ramakrishna going off into samadhi all the time. Anything that would make him think of God or anything that inspired him directly like that, he would immediately go into samadhi. And you notice that whenever he was coming down, he would always ask for either a glass of water, or he would ask for a sweet, for a jalebi, or he would ask for the company of the devotees. And that was the way that he would keep his mind. That's how he used the idea of me and mine. He wanted to be there to serve the devotees, to enjoy the company of the devotees. He wanted, to have a sweet or to have a glass of water, something for the body or the mind that would cause him to move back into that realm. So he has the opposite problem, trying to keep the mind down. So he's talking about Mother for this nurse that was going to visit her. He said, Ratu was given to her by Ramakrishna in order to keep her entangled in her body. And so Ratu required so much service from Holy Mother that's the way Holy Mother kept a body and kept herself present and available to the devotees, was through taking care of Ratu. Sarada arrived in Kolpara during the first week of April 1919, accompanied by Ruma Devi, who wanted initiation from Mother. Dr. Matilal, later Swami Prabhutananda from Mayavati, that's not my Prabhutananda. He wasn't in Mayavati, accompanied them. They arrived at Kolpara via Vishnupur. Sarala saw that Holy Mother was lying down on the floor with a low temperature. When Holy Mother saw Sarada, she said, "My child, I'm happy that you have come. Look at my condition. I am lying down helpless. Look after Radhu. I am relieved that you are here." She greeted Ruma and told her that Sharadananda had written to her asking for Ruma's initiation. She agreed to initiate her as soon as she was well. Ruma was born in Garbyang, a village in the Himalayas between Mayavati and Kailash, and she spoke Hindi. She came from a respectable and spiritual family. She had read about Ramakrishna and Holy Mother and had received a mantra in a dream. When the mother learned that Ruma planned to return to her home with Dr. Matilal, the mother initiated her on the same day despite her illness. After initiating her, she said to Sharala, "This girl followed my instructions well. Where is Kailash and where is Kolpara? My child, see how the master attracts people." Ruma had knit a woolen rug for the mother and now presented it to her. She cried profusely as she left, and the mother blessed her. It's amazing just to meet mother like that for such a short time and feel such a strong attachment to her. Shalala recalled, Ratu was suffering from neurosis and wouldn't move out of that thatched hut adjacent to the cowshed. Despite Radu's mental state, we were happy to be with the mother at Kolpara. One day, a bird sat on the branch of a tree near our room. Like an innocent girl, the mother asked the bird, "Oh, bird, could you tell me whether Radu will have a boy or a girl?" The bird cried out, "Koka, koka, koka," which asterisk means little boy, little boy. Pleased, the mother said to us that Radu would have a son. In spite of the fact that she was staying in that remote village of Kolpara, Holy Mother's life was eventful. Keshavananda's mother was an elderly woman and hard of hearing, but she was devoted to the mother. She got all kinds of news about the mother from her youngest daughter-in-law and believed the gossip that she heard. Holy Mother did not approve of this. One afternoon, Keshavananda's mother said that Kishori's wife, Yugal, had stolen Holy Mother's footprint. There was a big commotion. That evening, Holy Mother said to Brahmachari Bharata, "Tomorrow, go to the market and buy some cloth and a bottle of red paint and give it to Kedar's mother. Let me fulfill their desire." The next day, Bharata went to Kodalpur, bought some fine bleached cloth and a bottle of Alta color. He cut the cloth into 32 pieces and gave it to Keshavananda's mother to make the footprints. Within a couple of days, Holy Mother's footprints were taken and distributed amongst the devotees. They were the last footprints taken while she was alive. After the master passed away, when the Holy Mother was alone in Karmarpakur, she felt helpless because she had no children to look after her. Then the master appeared to her and said, "Well, you are thinking of children. I have left you many of them. All of them are jewels." Sharadananda was one of those jewels. His love, his devotion, his faith, his respect for Holy Mother were truly second to none. Although he was physically in Calcutta, his mind was focused on the mother's health and welfare, in her needs. That is why the mother used to say affectionately, "Sharat is the bearer of my burdens." The following excerpts from Sharadananda's letters show how seriously he bore the responsibility for Holy Mother and her family affairs and sought to make her daily life smooth and pleasant. The 19th of February, 1919. Mother, please accept our countless salutations. I am getting all the news of you from Kedar. I am concerned about Ratu. I pray to the Master for her quick recovery. I have already sent some lemons and pomegranates, and yesterday Madhyam Narayan oil and Ayurvedic oil has been sent. I have sent 25 rupees to Kedar for your expenses in Kolpara, and today I am remitting another 25 rupees. Please let me know whether I should send some money for your personal expenses. I learned from Kishori's letter that you had asked for a lavatory to be built in Jairambati. I asked him and Kedar to send me an estimate as soon as possible. Another letter, the 25th of February, 1919. Dr. Suresh Bhattacharya, Dr. Bipin Ghosh, and Dr. Durgapada Ghosh treated Nalini, mother's niece, but her condition did not improve. According to their suggestion, we have brought a Western woman doctor who is now treating her. She will be able to return to Jairambati after 2 or 3 weeks. We pray to the Master so that Radu can get rid of the neuroses. The 27th of February, 1919. I have sent 50 lemons and 13 pomegranates by postal parcel. The shipping cost is high, so I did not send them to you earlier. However, we shall send more as soon as you finish those. Please ask Kedar and Kishori to complete the construction of the lavatory in Jairambati before the rainy season. There is a famine all around now. We are not getting sufficient funds for relief work. We are doing some relief work in Bankura and Manbhum districts. Today I learned from a letter of Kedar that Radu had a little temperature. We are concerned about her. Please take care of yourself. It is if your health is good, then we shall be able to maintain our strength, confidence, and composure, and Radu will be taken care of properly. The 21st of March, 1919. I have asked Dr. Vaikunta of Bankura to go to Kualpara whenever you need him for Radu's delivery. Tomorrow, Nalini is going to Jairambati with Kailo, a son of Shureshwar Sen of Vishnupur. I am sending her with her pomegranates, patal, a vegetable, lemons, and sweets. Please do not neglect your body and eat at the right time. If you are ill, the whole arrangement will be jeopardized. I heard you had some pain for a couple of days. Now, how are you? Your Western woman devotee's daughter's marriage date has been fixed for 2 months from now, and the bridegroom is a very nice person. She conveyed her pranam to you and asked me to inform you. 17th of April, 1919. Mother, please accept our respectful pranams. I have heard your body is still weak. There is a possibility of relapse of fever if you work hard and do not eat timely. Please take care of yourself. Deva Mata has written a letter to you from America, which I am sending to you. Paramananda has sent 66 rupees to you from Boston. Shall I remit it now? The 29th of April, 1919. We are shocked to hear the news of the death of Neda Maku's son, and we understand that you are afflicted immensely. It is all the master's play, and we understand it very little. I am sending 150 rupees per month for your household expenses in Kualpara. On the 9th of May, 1919, Radu gave birth to a son in the natural way without much difficulty. It was a great relief to the mother. The mother named the boy Bana Bihari, an epithet of Krishna that means he who roams in the forest. On the 23rd of July, 1919, Holy Mother moved to Jairambati with all of her companions, and she lived there until the 27th of February, 1920. Ratu was weak and bedridden most of the time. According to custom, 6 months after Bana Bihari's birth, Holy Mother arranged his rice feeding ceremony and fed many people. Holy Mother knew that her days were coming to an end, so she began making arrangements for the future. She said to Parameshwarananda, "You stay in Jairambati. If you live here, then I will feel a great relief." He replied, "Mother, I feel hesitant to live here long. I heard that one should not stay at the house of one's guru more than 3 days. Holy Mother reassured him, "Don't worry, I'm asking you to stay here." Swami Parameshwarananda obeyed the mother's order and looked after the mother's temple in Jairambati until his death in 1978. Narayan Iyengar, later Swami Srivasananda, proposed that the courtyard of the mother's new house be cemented because during the rainy season that area became extremely muddy. When Parameshwarananda informed the mother about Narayan's proposal, she said, "No, my son, it is not necessary to cover the courtyard with bricks and cement. People will say that we have a lot of money." The Swami understood that she wanted to live just like the other villagers in Jairambati. Parameshwarananda recalled, "Many devotees would come to visit the mother in Jairambati. She would arrange for their stay and food with great care. She could not bear it that they should be inconvenienced while they were living with her. We saw the mother roaming in the village and collecting vegetables and milk for tea for her visiting devotees. It was a sight to see. We read in the scriptures that only the devotees yearn for God, and here we witnessed the Divine Mother had descended to the earth, longed for the devotees, and served them. This truth we realized by meditating on the Leela of the Master and the Mother. Ramakrishna would climb on the roof of the mansion and cry, "O devotees, where are you? Please come." Thus, many devotees came to Dakshineshwar. In Jairambati, we have seen that the mother would wait for the devotees, and if there was no devotee on a particular day, she would lament, "Well, today no devotee has come." It is amazing that shortly after that, a couple of devotees would arrive. The Divine Mother herself descended to earth to deliver people, so she eagerly waited for her children. What a beautiful description, that in the same way that we yearn for God, God yearns for us. That's wow, that's pretty powerful, actually. I'm always assuming everyone's like me, but when I read stuff like this, I realize they probably aren't. Because I always, I never assumed that God was yearning for me or that he was waiting for me to show up. I always felt like a little beggar who kind of snuck in behind the mice and got it and was stealing a private moment. But to see this, that God longs for us, that really is a wonderful way to think when you go into the shrine, to not present yourself to God first, but let God present himself to you first. Since he was longing for you, he would probably run to you before you got to him. He would probably be hugging you and checking up on you and asking you about everybody that you knew and wanting to get you some food or something to drink. And all the whole time you'd be trying to get down and take the dust of his feet, and he would just keep moving. In August of 1919, there was heavy rain in Jairambati. In the evenings after japa and meditation, Holy Mother would ask her disciples to sing some devotional songs in the parlor, or she would ask them to read the Bengali Sri Ramakrishna Katamrita to her. Swami Ishanananda wrote, "For the last few days, we have been reading the Katamrita, Part 3. After listening to the reading one day, the mother said, 'How wonderfully the Master,' meaning M, kept everything in his memory and then wrote it down so beautifully. Listening to the conversations of the Master, it seems that those were taking place right now in front of us. What a vivid description. And the Master's words go straight to the mind. They stick there. Nowadays, so many people are drawn to the Master by reading and listening to the Katamrita. They're getting peace. The Master's words are infallible." I commented, "Mother, all the advice and ideas of the Master are so beautiful. They fill the mind with joy." The mother said, "You are right, my son. If anyone can comprehend even a little of these teachings, that person's life will be blessed." One noon during this period, Ishanananda was preparing betel rolls with Holy Mother and asked her, "Mother, when you encountered the robber in Telo Belo Meadow, were you afraid?" She was hesitant to say anything because she didn't want to expose Lakshmi, Shibu, and the others who had left her alone. Mako insisted, "Aunt, tell us that story." The Holy Mother said, "Yes, I was terribly afraid. My heart was palpitating. The moment that man came near and asked, 'Who are you?' immediately from the bottom of my heart, I said, 'Father, I'm your daughter,' and I became like his daughter. Then that robber became somewhat puzzled. He said, 'Don't be afraid, my child.' Meanwhile, his wife arrived. When Maku asked her to continue the story, the mother said, 'What happened then is all written in the book. I cannot tell it anymore.'" They basically took care of her and got her to the meeting point at uh, the little inn in the next town. And they became devotees, lifelong devotees of the mother, those two robbers, his wife, the robber and his wife. That's just the power that power of love. You see that as we were reading all of those little excerpts of all those letters. The Swami who wasn't even there with her. In every one of them, he's checking up and sending money, sending medicine, sending goods, asking questions, inquiring, finding people. Their dedication to each other is so touching. Everybody's, the devotees toward mother, mother toward the devotees, the monks toward Holy Mother, Holy Mother toward the boys. It's just beautiful how just consumed with caring for each other all of them were, and then mother and Jairambati, taking care of everybody in that whole town, just loving the entire town like her children. The mother's last Jagadatri worship. After the rainy season in 1919, the mother was suffering from malaria off and on. Her health broke down. She was weak and thin. When fall came, she got ready to perform the Jagadatri Puja. Parameshwarananda went to Calcutta to buy various things according to Holy Mother's instructions. When he was leaving to return to Jairambati, Sharadananda told him, Please tell the mother that her health has deteriorated from several attacks of malaria, so immediately after the worship she should come back to Calcutta. Parameshwarananda reached Jairambati with a bullock cart loaded with the articles for worship. He saw that the mother's health was very poor, yet she had constant visitors. According to her instructions, the clay image of the deity was made and the other necessary items and groceries were purchased locally. Parameshwarananda recalled, I observed that the mother was indrawn most of the time. On previous occasions, she had asked us to do things, but this time it was different. Now, she demonstrated how to do a particular thing and then said, In the future, follow this method. It seemed to me that she was making arrangements for the future when she would not be with us. When she was telling us repeatedly, You will do it this way, a doubt came to our minds and we felt uneasiness. The articles of worship were kept in the houses of Kali and her other brothers. She ordered me to move everything to her new house. It seemed that she was cutting all connections with her brothers. The day before the worship, I asked the mother in the evening, Who will do the alpana, an auspicious painting made with paint from rice powder? Shall I call the aunts? No, don't call them. You are my sons and you are my daughters. You do the alpana. I had learned how to draw in school, so I painted the floor of the shrine. Delighted, the mother called the ladies. See how beautiful he has painted the floor. Can you do like he does? The mother showed me how to set the plates of Navaidya what kind of utensils would be used for offering food and drink to the deity. She also told me how Naivedya would be distributed among the priest, the mantra prompter, and the others. She mentioned what was to be given to the image maker, to the drummer, and the others. Before the worship began, the mother received the priest and the mantra prompter with humility, offering them each a cloth, a sacred thread, betel leaf, and betel nut. The Mongol Ghat, the consecrated pitcher, filled with water from Banerjee's pond, arrived accompanied by musicians and was placed at the front of the altar. The priest invoked the prana in the deity with the mantras and began the worship. The mother bowed down to Mother Jagadatri, encircling the corner of her upper sari around her neck. The deity was worshipped 3 times, and the ceremonies continued till 4 o'clock. In between the worship ceremonies, the mother offered flowers. When the homa began, the mother sat and watched the Purnahuti. The priest sprinkled the peace water from the Mongol Ghat. The mother and all her devotees received that holy water and bowed down to the deity. After the first worship, the prasad was served to the Brahmins, and then to the other people. After the Vesper service, puffed rice, luchi, and sweets were offered to the goddess Jagadatri. The worship continued for another 2 days. On the third day, before the immersion ceremony, an earring was taken from the image according to custom, and the mother whispered into the ear of the deity, asking her to come back next year. The mother always loved to listen to yatra performances based on the Puranas, and she arranged one for every year. The villagers also enjoyed these performances. Before the worship of Mother Jagadatri, the mother said to me, "Take these 100 rupees and arrange for the yatra performance of Anukul Mandal for 2 nights." When we had booked the performance, Uncle Kali said to the mother, "Sister, I have financial problems, and you are spending money for a yatra." Disgusted, the mother said to me, "My son, it is not possible to do anything for Kali. Return that money to me." I returned the money to her. I was sad that the mother would not hear the yatra performance. The mother also purchased 3.5 acres of paddy field for the annual celebration of Mother Jagadatri. Holy Mother's health was failing day by day. Previously, when Narayan Iyengar had offered money to pave the courtyard of her house with cement, she declined. He offered again to complete the project before Holy Mother left for Calcutta. This time she said to Parameshwarananda, "Since Narayan is asking again and again, let him pave the courtyard with cement." Then she pointed out a small section of the courtyard that should not be cemented because of a wooden stove. A temporary wooden stove for cooking during the festival time is made by digging a hole in the ground. She also forbade paving the floor of her bedroom. Seeing Ramakrishna in every being. The culmination of the Vedantic experience is to see God in every being and everything. Yes, that's the highest realization, actually, Thakur said. This realization takes place when a person's individuality dissolves and his or her I consciousness becomes one with the cosmic consciousness. The Mundaka Upanishad uses an analogy to describe this experience. As flowing rivers disappear into the sea, losing their names and forms, so a wise man, freed from name and form, attains to Purusha, who is greater than the great. Ramakrishna had such experiences, one of which he described to Holy Mother, saying, "I'm glad you are here. I feel as if I am going to a faraway country across the water, very far away." The Master also said to M and Hirananda, the indivisible Satchitananda, I see it both inside and outside. You all seem to me to be my kinsmen. I see you all as so many sheaths, referring to their bodies, with the heads moving. In Jairambati, Holy Mother had a similar experience of oneness. Parameshwarananda described this. The mother's health was not good and her mind was indrawn most of the time. She was performing all of her duties in the household, but the focus of her mind was toward the infinite. One day we arranged the Navaidya in the shrine and the door was open. Niranjan, a greedy boy from the Banerjee family, cast a hungry look toward the food. Holy Mother told me, "The look on that boy has made the food bad. It cannot be offered to the master. Prepare fresh food for the master." When the fresh Navaidya was ready, the mother offered it to the master. That's Another day I saw that boy on the veranda. Before offering the Naivedya to the master, the mother gave some of it to that boy to eat. Surprised, I asked her, "Mother, the food has not yet been offered to the master, and you gave some of it to that boy?" She replied, "My son, the master who also dwells in him." I became apprehensive, but I could not say anything. On another day, she took some food from the offering plate and gave it to Gangaram, her pet parrot. I protested, "Mother, what are you doing? The Navaidya has not yet been offered to the master, and you have given it to some to Gangaram." She replied, "It's all right, my son. The master dwells in that bird also." One evening, she poured some milk into the master's bowl and asked me to drink from it. Dumbfounded, I asked her, Mother, how can I drink the milk from the master's bowl? She said, The master exists inside of you. I'm telling you to drink. I protested several times, but she insisted, and I drank the milk from the bowl. One night, her attendant had no pillow, and she gave me her own pillow, and she gave her own pillow to the attendant to use. When I protested, she said, My son, it's all right. The master also lives in her. I was perturbed when I observed the mother's mood. She was seeing the master in every being. I thought that she would probably depart from this world very soon. No, that's a drag. I don't want to see her go. I love that though, because she had all of those traditional perspectives, and yet, which are very deep and very important and quite an influence on most people from India. And to see the mother being able, not being able, but actually transcending them because of her vision of the master in everyone and everything. It takes you back to the master himself when he used to worship in the Kali temple, and he would sometimes put the offering. He would offer the food for Kali to the cat. You know, would worship the cat because he saw Mother Ma Kali in the cat. And at times when he would put the offerings on his own head because he knew he saw Ma Kali in himself and worshipped even there. Uh, so this beautiful ideal is what it's really the crest jewel of our practice, of our search, to be able to see love in everything. What a beautiful, beautiful thing. Oh, boy, someday, someday. The mother and the master's birth anniversary. Although Holy Mother was suffering from malaria off and on in Jairambati, she tried to make her disciples and relatives happy. She knew her days were drawing to an end. So she shared herself with these people as much as she could. As mentioned before, during the last part of October 1919, the mother arranged the rice feeding celebration for Radu's son and held a feast for her relatives and the villagers. Holy Mother's birthday, the last birthday that she celebrated, was on the 13th of December, 1919. When Parameshwarananda asked about arrangements for her birthday, she said, Invite the monks and devotees and the families of Kali, Bharada, and Prasanna. Kali wanted the occasion to be celebrated on a large scale and said to her, Sister, we should invite the villagers and the beggars. Holy Mother replied, Let me feed the people in my household. Later I shall consider your suggestion. On her birthday, she took a sponge bath with tepid water and put on a sari sent by Sharadananda. She performed the master's worship and then sat on her bed with her feet dangling, holding Radu's baby on her lap. The devotees put a vermilion mark and sandal paste on her forehead and placed a garland around her neck. Then they came one by one and bowed down to her and offered flowers at her feet. She blessed everyone, saying, I pray to the Master for your welfare. Generally, Holy Mother could not eat before feeding the disciples and the devotees, but on that day, after the food offering to the Master, she ate at the request of her disciples as her health was poor. Then the devotees and villagers had their prasad. Jamini Devi recalled, I put a dot of sandal paste on the mother's forehead, a garland around her neck, and offered flowers at her feet. After bowing down, I looked at her face and saw the beautiful divine form in the place of her old form. I can't describe that celestial form in human language. After a short while, she became as usual and said, "My child, now bow down." That afternoon, Holy Mother had a relapse of her fever. Her attendants informed Sharadananda in Calcutta that her condition had worsened and local treatment had produced no result. In between bouts of fever, Holy Mother initiated some devotees who had come from far-off places. Her compassion was welling up for those who were suffering. She was distributing her blessings so quickly, it was as if she would burn away like camphor. In February of 1920, before the Master's birthday, Kali went to Holy Mother and said, "Sister, because you are present this year, we must observe the Master's birthday on a grand scale and feed many people. Moreover, many relatives will come from other places to see you. We shall buy sufficient food and other things so that there will be no shortage." The mother said slowly, "Look, Brother Kali, I don't have your devotion and strength to observe the birthday festival of the Master on a grand scale. Whatever vegetables and other foods are available in the local market, buy them and arrange the feast. As you see, my health is declining day by day." Kali took charge of the Master's birthday festival, which fell on the 21st of February, 1920. After the worship, prasad was distributed among the monks, the relatives, and the villagers. It went off smoothly. In the late afternoon, Holy Mother felt weak, so she lay down with Radu's baby inside the mosquito curtain. Ishanananda read some devotees' letters to her and then rubbed her feet. When the baby began to cry, Holy Mother asked Ishanananda to take him to Radu. The baby was on the other side of Holy Mother, and Ishanananda was hesitant to step over her. Moreover, she insisted, so he obeyed and then bowed down to her. She blessed him and said, "There are many rules in the Vaishnava scriptures regarding proper and improper service to the Guru. It is a sin to step over the Guru or to walk over his shadow, to disobey his command and even to step over his things. But let me tell you what the real service to the Guru are, what the real services to the Guru are. One should be humble toward the Guru, should sincerely and affectionately serve the Guru, do the Guru's work as instructed, and please the Guru in all ways. The Guru becomes angry if the disciple opposes his or her will and acts egotistically. It is a great mistake to make a Guru angry." When Holy Mother then explained that it was hard for her to get up, so she had asked him to step over her body to pick up the baby. One evening, at 8 o'clock, Holy Mother was seated on her veranda. Parameshwarananda was massaging her feet. was messaging her feet. Parameshwarananda was massaging her feet with medicated oil for her rheumatism, and she was talking about the Master. Meanwhile, the young woman entered the house and began to cry loudly. Her husband had died suddenly. He had been highly educated and had a high position in his office. The young widow sat on the veranda. She held Holy Mother's feet, and her tears wet them. Overwhelmed by her heart-rending sobs, Parameshwarananda said, "Mother, this girl is deeply hurt." Mother replied, "My son, let her cry." Tears trickled from the mother's eyes also. Amazed, Parameshwarananda thought that the mother would console her. Instead, she let her cry. She did not realize what the mother was absorbing her grief. After some time, the woman stopped crying. When she stopped crying, the mother said to her, "My child, have a little prasad and drink some water." Amazed, Parameshwarananda saw that the woman was now completely free from grief. Her experience with Holy Mother had shown her the impermanency of the world, and her face was radiant with serenity. Toward the end of January 1920, Naresh Chandra Chakrabarti, a disciple of the mother, went to Jairambati with two devotees for their initiation. The mother told them, "I'm very sick. I can't initiate you now." The devotees began to cry, and Naresh again requested that she initiate them. The mother replied, "This body can no longer accept the burning sensation that people's sins produce." Naresh humbly asked, "Mother, if you do not show your grace, where will they go?" She finally agreed to initiate them. She told Naresh, "Their bodies are very impure. Ask them to stay here for 3 nights. If anyone stays here for 3 nights, his body will be pure because this place is the abode of Shiva." Mother initiated them 3 days later. The last journey to Calcutta. Swami Sharadananda was hearing news of Holy Mother's poor health from various sources, and he was concerned. He wrote to Holy Mother and also sent messages through other people requesting that she come to Calcutta for treatment. At last, she agreed to come. However, Sharadananda was called to Varanasi to look after an urgent matter concerning the Ramakrishna mission there. He stayed in Varanasi from the 25th of November to the 20th of January, and then went to Bhubaneswar to see Swami Brahmananda on the 6th of February. He returned to Calcutta on the 17th of February. Holy Mother refused to go to Calcutta during Sharadananda's absence. She told her attendants, "If Sharat is not there, my going to Calcutta is out of the question. Who else can take care of me? Who can carry my burden and problems except for Sharat?" At last, Sharadananda fixed the mother's departure date for the 24th of February and sent Swamis Atma Prakashananda, Bhumananda, and Boshishwar Sen to Jairambati. They arrived there on the 21st of February. The disciples then began packing for Holy Mother and the companions who would go with her to Calcutta. She did not have much luggage. Generally, she carried a few saris, a towel, a blanket, a mosquito curtain, tooth powder, a little dry mud from Mother Simhavahini's temple, and her little tin box, which contained the master's picture wrapped up in a cloth and some precious mementos. It was decided that Parameshwarananda and Hari Premananda would stay in Jairambati to look after Mother's house, while Ishanananda accompanied her to Calcutta. Parameshwarananda describes the plans. The date of Mother's departure for Calcutta was 24th of February 1920. It was planned that the mother would go by palanquin via Sihar and then would cross the Amadar River by a small boat and go by bullock cart. They would have lunch at Kualpara Ashrama, and then, after resting, they would start for Vishnupur. In the morning, the mother finished the worship, wrapped the master's picture, and put it in her tin box. She then added her jewelry and money and closed the box. She ate a little breakfast. Before leaving, she remembered that some leftover rice from the previous night was soaking in water, and she wanted to give it to a poor woman. She said to me, "This rice will be wasted, so let me give it to that woman." I said, "Mother, I shall give it to her. You will not have to do it." She said, "No, my son, I shall give it to her." After giving the rice to the woman, the mother went to Punyapukur to wash her hands. Her foot slipped and she almost fell. Somehow she controlled her balance and said to me, "My son, I was about to fall. You see, this body is very weak." She sat down and took a little rest. Men and women of Jairambati came to see the mother off and said to her with tearful eyes, "After recovering your health, please come back soon. Don't forget us." Holy Mother replied, "Everything is the will of the Master. Can I ever forget you?" Then her attendants came one by one and bowed down to her. She gave me one of her used silk cloths and gave a chadar to Brahmachari Hari. Her palanquin was kept on the shore of Ahur Lake, which is on the western outskirts of the village. The mother asked me to carry her tin box, and I put it on my head. She walked behind me, and the villagers followed her. Meanwhile, a white-breasted kite flew over the mother's head. When I saw it, I said to her, "Mother, your journey will be auspicious." She replied indifferently, "Yes, my son." Hari carried a pan and a jug of water mixed with turmeric. When the mother reached her palanquin, Hari washed the mother's feet with that water and dried them before she entered the palanquin. I privately told Hari to save that water, but when I stepped away, the mother said to Hari, "I walked over this dirty street, so throw that water away." Hari told her that I had asked him to save it. The mother insisted that he throw it away. When I came back, I found that the pan was empty, and I was disappointed, as I wanted to save that auspicious water. The mother entered the palanquin, and I placed the box inside it. We followed her. When the palanquin reached the Shantinath Shiva temple in Sihar, the mother got down and asked Brahmachari Bharata to buy some sweets. She offered them to Lord Shiva and distributed the prasad to everyone present. She then bowed down to the Brahmin, who was a relative on her mother's side. She returned to the palanquin. When she reached the edge of Sihar village, she asked the bearers to stop. She put her hand on my head to bless me and affectionately said, "You have come quite a distance. Now go back. Hari will be well with you. Please eat well. After reaching Calcutta, I shall write to you." Bharata followed the mother on his bicycle, and gradually the mother's palanquin disappeared from sight, and I returned to Jairambati with a heavy heart. God, only Toledo. Oh my God, I'm gonna die next week. I cannot and never have been able to do goodbyes like that. Oh my Lord. Stop the recording. No.